Deep sea creature gets stranger the deeper you descend. Before we begin, imagine the pressure. Not just the weight of water above you, but the feeling that the world is slowly closing in. Every few meters you descend, the ocean becomes darker, colder, quieter. Sunlight disappears and direction fades. At these depths, cameras don't always show everything. Sometimes something moves just outside the light, and you only notice it after the footage is reviewed. You're watching Creature XX. And today, we're descending into the deep ocean to meet creatures that grow stranger the farther down you go. Each one is real, and each one leaves behind the same question: does it truly exist, or are we only seeing part of something much larger? Number 1. Bigfin squid. We begin far below the reach of sunlight. At depths beyond 16,000 feet, deep-sea cameras sometimes capture shapes that weren't meant to be seen. The lights cut a narrow tunnel ahead. Nothing moves. Then something enters the edge of the frame. At first it looks like a vertical line, almost like a cable, or debris hanging in the water. The camera moves closer and the line doesn't move. That's when the body becomes visible, a pale, ghost-like shape hovering motionless in the darkness. No fin movement and no propulsion, no reaction to the lights. Then the arms appear. The bigfin squid can exceed 20 feet in total length, but most of that length isn't body. It's made of ultra-thin appendages that hang straight down at near-perfect right angles like suspended wires. No other squid behaves like this. The arms don't coil, they don't drift, they hang rigid, deliberate, and perfectly still. Scientists believe the bigfin squid doesn't hunt actively. It doesn't chase. It doesn't ambush. It waits. Those hanging filaments act like passive traps. Anything that brushes against them triggers a slow, controlled response. No panic, no burst of speed, just economy of movement in a place where energy is survival. There's no visible bioluminescence, no obvious eyes scanning the dark, just presence. The squid remains motionless for long stretches of footage, so still that editors often hesitate to cut the shot, because in the deep ocean, nothing that stays this still is ever inactive. Did the bigfin squid exist? Yes. But it doesn't behave like a predator. It behaves like something placed there, quietly waiting for contact. Number 2. The Atolla Jellyfish. Descending deeper, the water becomes emptier. Then suddenly, light appears. The Atolla jellyfish is small, only 2 to 4 inches wide, with a body so transparent it nearly disappears unless illuminated directly. In its natural state, it's almost invisible, but when threatened, it does something extraordinary. A bright ring of blue bioluminescence flashes around its bell. Then another, then another. Perfect circles of light ripple outward into the darkness. On deep-sea footage, the light often appears without warning. Operators describe seeing the flash before realizing what triggered it. This phenomenon is known as the burglar alarm response. Instead of defending itself, the Atolla draws attention. The idea is simple and ruthless. If something attacks me, something bigger will notice. The light spreads like a silent explosion, illuminating the water column for hundreds of feet. Predators hunting nearby suddenly see movement they didn't expect. One tentacle on the Atolla is noticeably longer than the others. It trails behind like a loose cable, slowly coiling and uncoiling. Scientists believe it helps collect food particles and may also assist with orientation in total darkness. Despite lacking a brain, digestive system, or circulatory system, the Atolla reacts precisely to disturbances. Sometimes it flashes without an obvious threat, triggered by subtle pressure changes or passing currents. Is the Atolla jellyfish actually real? Yes, but its behavior suggests something beyond simple reflex, the creature that turns danger into a signal and silence into a warning. Number 3. Gulper eel. At around 10,000 feet, the environment becomes hostile even for machines, and here we encounter a creature once dismissed as impossible. The gulper eel looks thin, delicate, almost unfinished, until it opens its mouth. On camera, the change is sudden. What looked like drifting debris instantly becomes a mouth. The jaws expand outward into a massive, balloon-like cavity capable of engulfing prey larger than the eel itself. Most of its body mass is concentrated in its head, while the rest trails behind like a ribbon. At the very end of its tail, a faint bioluminescent glow pulses slowly. Not bright, not flashy, just enough to be noticed. The strategy appears simple. Glow, wait, engulf. The eel's eyes are tiny and poorly developed. Vision is almost useless at these depths. Instead, it relies on detecting vibrations, electrical signals, and subtle shifts in the surrounding water. Scientists believe the glowing tail may also serve as a lure, drawing curious animals closer before the jaws expand without warning. Every confirmed observation of the Gulper eel has come from deep-sea video footage or damaged specimens brought to the surface. No one has ever observed its full hunting cycle from start to finish. Is the Gulper eel a real animal? Yes. But nearly everything about how it lives, feeds, and reproduces remains unknown. A real animal, still behaving like a legend. Number 4. Telescopefish. As we descend further, the water thickens. Vision becomes rare, and when it exists, it becomes deadly. The telescopefish has an elongated snake-like body and eyes that extend forward and upward, forming tubular structures like periscopes. These eyes allow it to see directly above itself. In an environment where faint traces of residual light may still exist, this upward-facing vision becomes a powerful advantage. The telescopefish rises from below, launching itself upward in a sudden strike. Deep-sea footage often shows nothing at first, just drifting particles. Then, from below the frame, something moves straight up, fast enough to blur the image. Its mouth opens wide, and its throat stretches to swallow prey, nearly half its own size. Deep-sea footage rarely captures the full strike. Most recordings show only the aftermath, and by the time the camera stabilizes, the prey is already gone. Only drifting particles remain, slowly settling back into the darkness. By the time operators rewind the footage, the strike is already over. The fish never appears clearly, only the result does. The skeleton is fragile and almost weightless. The body is semi-transparent, sometimes revealing internal organs through the skin. Some researchers believe the fish can subtly alter its shape, expanding its body to appear larger or confuse predators. Most telescope fish never reach scientists alive. They are recovered, partially digested inside larger animals. We rarely encounter them directly. Was this creature designed to be seen at all? Yes. But its anatomy feels purpose-built for an environment where seeing first means surviving, a creature designed to observe without being observed. Number 5. Squidworm. At depths nearing 9,800 feet, the environment changes again. Currents disappear. Particles drift slowly, sometimes taking years to sink from the surface. Here, something floats. The squidworm was discovered only in 2007, and its appearance stunned researchers. Its body is covered in feathery bristles, and from its head extend 10 long appendages resembling squid tentacles. They move gracefully, forming symmetrical patterns as the animal rotates slowly in the water. These appendages don't grab prey. They collect marine snow, microscopic organic debris drifting downward from above. The squidworm doesn't rush. It doesn't hunt. It drifts. Under artificial light, its body casts almost no shadow. The bristles shimmer briefly, then disappear again as the camera shifts. Researchers describe watching it for minutes at a time, unsure if it was moving at all, or if the water itself was carrying it past the lens. Researchers have admitted they weren't sure when the animal began or ended against the water. Its translucent body makes it nearly invisible. Its movement is slow, almost deliberate, as if it were part of the water itself. At the time of discovery, it didn't fit into any known category of worm. Did we discover a species or an entire way of living we barely understand? And its discovery reminds us that entire forms of life can remain unseen simply because we weren't looking deep enough. Number 6. Dragonfish. Now we enter the midnight zone. Between 4,900 and 13,000 feet, sunlight no longer exists. Here, dragonfish patrol complete darkness. Their skin absorbs up to 99.95% of light, making them nearly invisible. They hunt using a chin-mounted lure that emits bioluminescence. Some species produce red light. On camera, the red glow is visible, but the surrounding water stays completely black. Most deep-sea creatures cannot see red wavelengths. That means the dragonfish can illuminate prey without being detected. On camera, the red light looks obvious, but nothing in the surrounding water reacts to it. To the camera, the light is obvious to everything else. It doesn't exist. No scatter, no reflection, no response. The dragonfish sees everything, and nothing sees it. Its teeth are long, curved, and transparent, no enamel, no reflection. The jaws open wide enough to swallow prey half its size. Despite its fearsome appearance, it is relatively small, rarely exceeding 20 inches. But in darkness, size doesn't matter. Did the dragonfish exist? Yes, and it proves that in the deep ocean, light is not safety, and it's a weapon. Number 7. Challenger Deep Amphipod. We descend to the deepest point on Earth, 36,000 feet. The pressure here would crush steel, yet life exists. The camera lights sweep across the seafloor, revealing fine sediment untouched for years. Then something moves slowly, lifting a faint cloud beneath it. The Challenger Deep Amphipod is only about an inch long. It resembles a translucent insect, fragile at first glance, but its body is coated in an aluminum-based layer formed from minerals in the water and sea floor. This natural armor protects it from crushing pressure and acidic conditions. It feeds on sediment and marine snow, whatever organic material slowly drifts down over years. When scientists examined specimens, they found microplastics inside its body. Even here, humanity has left a trace. Its movements are slow. The seafloor here is silent and uneven and covered in fine sediment that hasn't been disturbed for years. Each movement lifts a faint cloud beneath it, particles rising slowly before settling back into place. Nothing moves quickly at this depth. Even time feels stretched. It drifts just above the seafloor, pushing off gently with each movement. Every motion looks delayed, as if the pressure itself is deciding when it's allowed to move. Eyes nearly gone. Antennae sensitive to chemical signals. Did life exist at the deepest point on Earth? Yes. And it adapted in ways that challenge everything we thought we knew about survival. The deeper we descend, the quieter the ocean becomes. No sunlight, no sound that behaves the way it should, only movement and waiting. If creatures like these exist in places we almost never reach, what else drifts just beyond the edge of our cameras? What stays perfectly still, just outside the light? This is Creature XX. Subscribe, because some creatures are discovered and others are still descending.